Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked? Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. And we are delighted you're here. And we broadcast 2 hours. 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday, on GCN, the Genesis Communications Network. And if you'd like to call us, we'll pay for the call. 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. And if you'd like to listen to USA Prepares as you travel or at home, we have a telephone listen line. And it's 605-477-3249. 605-477-3249. There's a link to your instructors on the website, USAPREPARES.com. John is engineering the broadcast in Minnesota, and it's Thursday, and Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. Welcome, Rick.
Good morning, Vincent. Hi.
Good.
Hi. And hi to everybody out there. I'm thank you for all the well-wishing everybody's been sending me. It's just, I needed it. I needed it.
Hey, Rick, you know, well, I don't know how to say this, but USA Prepares is being attacked on many, many fronts. And I don't back down. So when we get attacked, I come out swinging. I mean swinging. And next Wednesday, I'm going to have a special report on the attacks on USAPrepares.com. And that special report will be with Dr. Norman Shealy. But the thing is, Norman Shealy has no idea what we're going to talk about. He has no idea. And he won't. This will be a surprise to him as much as it is a surprise to every one of you. And the reason I'm mentioning this is it's an outrage. You will not believe what you're going to hear. Richard Allen Miller has been attacked. And
well, we know who did that and why. Actually, I love Norm Shealy. You know, he has been one of the nicest persons to me in the last year. Whenever a student or a fan or a friend, close friend, would have a problem, I've always been available to try to help determine the best course of action using alternative medicine. Now, I know my limitations because my primary expertise is in physics, and while I'm a polymath, I've never met anyone as knowledgeable as Norm. And that's the truth of it. In his field, I bow to his knowledge base. And he has, in every single incident when I've asked for his help, he has been there within 12 hours. And I have to say, his recommendations, his directions, his thoughts have paralleled mine and complemented. My backgrounds are a little different and more unique in some ways, and yet his are solid foundation. And I just wanted to publicly say how much I've appreciated Norm's intellectual background complementing my own. He's really, and he did it unhesitatingly. I mean, you know, just when I would ask him for something, he's right there. I really appreciate that. I'm finding that with other people like Ed Marvini, others. I'm very fortunate, very lucky to know these people.
I as well, and we have some wonderful instructors. But class, what you're going to hear over the next few weeks is you're probably not going to be able to trust the people whom you thought you were able to trust. And I'm not talking about Norm Shealy and Rick Miller. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your circle of friends. And people
I think everything has been infiltrated, Vince. Certainly, the Oath Keepers out here in Oregon absolutely have been infiltrated. And the Oath Keepers know it, and nobody knows who's who because that's the way it plays. It's they can't beat you, and so what they do is infiltrate and try to rot from the core inside. And I've seen this occurring in our situations out here. Basically, BLM has become a point man for China. And I cannot begin to tell you what atrocities these people are doing, BLM specifically, Bureau of Land Management. Now, BLM is the one that has all the NRAPs, not why. Well, there's some other nefarious thing going on that I don't understand, but the Burns, Oregon event was about Hillary Clinton Foundation giving a uranium mine to Russia. That's what it was all about. And people were shot and killed as a result of that, and the public has absolutely no clue on what, the distractions on what is and is not real and true. And sheriffs are being, by the citizens, wanting to be, put on notice, and yet they're actually serving and protecting, unlike many law officers. And I cannot begin to tell you that at this point, the only people I know that I trust are people I've known more than 10 years. And the rest of it is I care about you, and I'm open and receptive, but I'm not going to open all of my doors. It's just not happening. And the reason it isn't, because even myself, I'm watching how, and I won't mention her name, but, everybody knows who I'm speaking about, and your friend Sam. Why?
No, I don't have a friend named Sam.
Okay, but I'm just saying.
I do not have a friend named Sam. And
yeah,
as a matter of fact,
why is human nature? Why is the values of the word and support? Why are these things changing today and so diverse as to be a true confusion? I really don't understand it. It's a mystery. And I'm trying to be as transparent as I can. I have literally no agenda other than I'm literally a starving artist. I don't have any money. Any available money I have has immediately been spent on putting another book in print, trying to get my material out there before I turn into worm food. And I'm confused. I'm struggling. And I watch all of this interactive dynamics going on that is not necessary at all. And yet, when I was at your meetup was it 2 weeks ago, with Janet Randall and some of the others, it was wonderful to be in the presence of that kind of support. I saw people I hadn't seen for a couple of years. It was wonderful. And yet, something is changing in everything, and I don't understand that. I don't understand that.
Well, Rick,
I can tell you we're at the end of days. That is absolute. I can talk to you about that as a physicist. Even in the media this morning, mainstream media, ISS was purposely turned off because they were in the process of recording a UFO entering our atmosphere. Now, whether it was us or some alien aircraft, I don't know. What I do know is it happened, and now it made major network news. There it is this morning. I posted it on Facebook. You ought to see what I posted yesterday on Facebook to include the fact that we have more planets in our solar system than we thought we did.
Yeah,
did you know that?
Yes, outside of Pluto. Yes, I saw.
Yeah, not outside of Pluto. There's no. There are some smaller planets that are now rogue running around, not from the asteroid belt, but yes, there's other things out there that we didn't even know about, and yet they're not actually making a big deal about it, where they certainly did 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Why? Well, that's another good question. How about our sun? And what's happening to our sun? And what would cause our sun to behave the way it is right this moment? That's another very interesting question that I know at this juncture there's a high likelihood I'll never really know. The answers are known, but do you think that they're going to give the public disclosure?
Rick, I've been watching a couple series on Netflix. One of them is, of course, I watched House of Cards, which I think there's no reason for the salacious sex and the profanity on that. But to me, it was a documentary about how murder and deception and lies are the status quo in Washington, D.C.
I saw that series. That's excellent.
Right, it was an excellent series. And then, and I'm calling it a documentary. And then,
it's kind of like a mockumentary or whatever. But yeah,
I'm using documentary in quotes. But what I'm saying is, I believe that without the actual names and people being described who commit these high crimes and treason and murders, I believe that they're happening very much the way the series shows them happening. It's just different names and different people are involved. Then there's
Hillary Clinton being and more than 70% of the U.S. population believes that she should be prosecuted. 70. And yet the FBI gives her walking papers. The last woman that did even less than half of her foulness was executed in the electric chair 10 years earlier. They put her to death.
Rick, you said 70% believe that she should be
Hillary Clinton is guilty and needs to be prosecuted. Yes.
Yeah, and here's what that means. There's 30% who are dumber than a box of rocks.
Well, that's another statistical, who knows where they got their data kind of thing. And who knows? I can tell you that any person I ask, any person, I'm standing in line in the post office, and I'll say something in the big long line that there's in post offices now, because that's our U.S. government trying to close that system down. I'll tell you, what is happening is I haven't found one person that would vote for Hillary Clinton. So where are those people that supposedly is at this Democratic Party?
Hold that thought. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Attention backpackers on a budget. Why spend $80 to $300 to pump clean survival water? Introducing the Viva Water Pump Kit from Viva Outdoor Products. Super easy to use and super lightweight at only 6.5 ounces, the Viva Water Pump Kit provides high flow rate at 1 ounce per stroke, can be one-hand pumped, and is dependable and affordable at only $24.99, filter not included. Get your Viva Water Pump Kit at viba-odp.com from Viva Outdoor Products.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Injury Help Desk is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of the lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention prescription antibiotic drug users. Have you or a loved one suffered an aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm after taking the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avalox? These popular antibiotic drugs have been prescribed more than 80 million times since 2004, and medical studies show an increased risk of the following injuries: aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, and abdominal aortic aneurysm. If you or a loved one used the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avalox and suffered from aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-823-3851, 800-823-3851, 800-823-3851.
As a doctor, I see patients every day who are losing their vision to age-related macular degeneration, also known as AMD. If you have blurry vision or blind spots, they can be symptoms of AMD, and if untreated, could lead to blindness. The good news, AMD can be managed with effective clinically approved treatments that may reverse some vision loss. For free AMD information, contact the Foundation Fighting Blindness at 1-800-BLINDNESS. That's 1-800-BLINDNESS. There is a cure in sight.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with his class. Yesterday, I was all scheduled to be on the air. Wednesday is Dr. Norman Shealy Day. And I was scheduled to be on the air, and I was in the studio. And Norm Shealy and I don't talk before the broadcast. He just shows up, I show up, and, you know, when you hear his voice, that's the first time I hear his voice as well. And here's what happened. Just before airtime, I got a call from our engineer, John, who's engineering the broadcast right this moment. And he said, Vincent, we have a small problem. I'm paraphrasing. He said, we have a small problem, and there's a protest going on in Minnesota. And the protesters, they've tried something new. What they do is they drive their vehicles, and then they shut them off. And they have a formation, and they're in lockstep, and they shut their vehicles off, and then all the vehicles behind them can't go forward. And then as more and more vehicles show up, nobody can go forward and nobody can go backward. Everybody's stuck. And he said, so the overnight engineer who runs the overnight broadcasts in the 6 studios at GCN, you know, can handle all that by himself because they're not live, they're reruns. But the engineers who run the live broadcast, who run the boards and take the calls and so forth, they can't get to work. They were prevented from getting to work because the roads were blocked. So my choice was to help out GCN by saying, let's run a rerun so that at least one broadcast could be done live. So I signed up for a rebroadcast, you know, as a team player. So I just wanted to share that with you. The reason that we were not live yesterday is because there was a protest that prevented the broadcast from occurring. Now, that's something that, how many of you have ever thought that radio would be shut down? Or at least live radio would be shut down because of a protest? Who thought that? Now, who did that affect? Well, USA Prepares is on AM, FM, satellite, YouTube, the telephone listen line. All of that became a rerun because of the protest. Now, I absolutely, positively support the right to protest. I really do. And even though it affected me and you, I'm glad that somebody's protesting, because it's our black friends, and whether you say it's Black Lives Matter or whether they're being put up to it, at least somebody is saying something against the outrages and the tyranny and the treason within our government and within the police and within the killings and the murders and the tasings and the shootings and the killings of animals and all the stuff that the bashing the doors down, all the stuff that they do. By the way, if you have a front door that's worth $1,000 and those thugs in blue, which is now it's black uniforms, not blue uniforms, but if they bash your door down, guess who gets to pay for it? You do. It's an outrage. So I'm glad they're protesting. And not everybody agrees with me. Many people think that I'm nuts, but I'm glad that they're protesting. I'm not for killing people. I'm not for killing people, and it seems like only the government is able to kill people with impunity. And they do that through wars. They go kill the Vietnamese. Go kill the Iraqis. Go kill the Afghanistani. Go kill them. Because we told you to, and if you don't, we're going to kill you.
What happened? Hello? Are we off the air? I don't hear anything, and I don't hear anybody. Okay, I have no idea what's happened with Vincent, but I've been asked to take over, and I have no clue what to say. Something is wrong going on everywhere right now, and some of it is our son.
Am I back?
There's something wrong with the sun, and Vincent and I were going to talk about
I'm
that.
back.
You're back. Good. Okay. You're in charge. I was just trying to go in a different direction.
Rick, I don't know how much you heard of my rant, but I was ranting about the police and the bashing of the doors. Yeah,
and who'd pay for it, etc.
Right.
And then you were gone.
That's a feature.
What is going on?
This is the kind of stuff that happens. And on Wednesday, I'm going to tell you what the meetup group did to me. Unbelievable. Class, we've got the RK Prepper Show this weekend. I'll be there. At least I'm scheduled to be there. That's Saturday and Sunday in Huntsville, Alabama at the Von Braun Center. Von Braun Center, Huntsville, Alabama. RKPreppershows.com. We'll be right back.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
If you're considering going back to school, ask yourself the following questions. Do you need the flexibility to take classes on your schedule? Do you have college credits you need transferred? Do you want to earn a quality degree from a world-renowned university? If you answered yes to any of these questions, Arizona State University is the perfect school for you. Arizona State University offers over 100 highly ranked degree programs 100% online. You'll earn the same degree as you would on campus, from wherever you are, on your schedule. Plus, ASU Online accepts most transfer credits. For information, call 1-800-933-1430. Learn for yourself why the Wall Street Journal ranks ASU 5th in the nation for producing the best qualified graduates, and why 90% of ASU grads are recruited within 90 days of graduation. Learn to grow, learn to succeed, and learn to thrive at Arizona State University. To learn more about ASU Online degrees, call 1-800-933-1430. That's 1-800-933-1430.
Think about this. Your community's aging water infrastructure systems are very likely to be contaminated with heavy metals like lead, disinfection chemicals like ammonia, chlorine and chloramines, and pharmaceuticals like statins, pain meds, and antidepressants. And no, water treatment plants are not equipped to filter these pharmaceutical toxins out. Protect your family's water supply with the trusted Big Berkey water filter. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show Big Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria, and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification, and our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
As a doctor, I see patients every day who are losing their vision and independence to age-related macular degeneration, also known as AMD. It's the leading cause of blindness in adults 55 and older. Some of us are at greater risk for AMD. If you have blurry vision or blind spots, they can be symptoms of AMD. If left untreated, it can lead to blindness. The good news? With early detection, AMD can be managed with effective clinically approved treatments that can reduce or even reverse some vision loss. Learning that you have AMD can be scary, but there's hope and help. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is researching and developing treatments and cures for AMD. To get your free AMD information packet, contact the Foundation Fighting Blindness today at 1-800-BLINDNESS. That's 1-800-BLINDNESS. Join the fight against AMD, because together there is a cure in sight.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Class, Rick Miller's with us today, and I've assigned some homework in the past, and I've mentioned some things that you can watch on Netflix. And Netflix allows you to have an account. It's about $10 a month, and you can share it. You can have two people watching Netflix at the same time. So, if you split the cost, it's $5 a month. Well, I've been given access to Netflix by a family member. And so this person doesn't watch it very much, but they let me watch it. And there's a series that I'd like to call to your attention, and it's called Lie to Me. Lie to Me. And it's about this organization, the Lightman Group. And they are, in this series, they're experts in detecting when people lie. So they're used by all kinds of clients that want to know if people are lying. They want to vet board members. They want to find out about murders. And so it's a very interesting series. They've been able to do an outstanding job without sex, without profanity. It's brilliant. And I suggest that you consider watching this TV series. It's on Netflix, called Lie to Me, or buy the DVD series. And you can get it.
Or American Odyssey. That's another one I enjoyed. American Odyssey.
Right. Well, back to this Lie to Me. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because they detect lies, mistruths, obfuscation via body language and facial expressions and, movements of the eyebrows, the forehead, the mouth, the chin, the position of the head, the shoulders. I mean, all kinds of movements that the body makes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And So the main character's name is Cal Lightman. And he will say things like, "You just lied to me. You just told me a lie." And it comes right out. There's no hesitation. The reason I'm mentioning this is my personality in the last month, maybe 2, has become a combination of Cal Lightman and Columbo. You know, I'm confused, but when somebody lies to me, when somebody lies to me, I'll just say, "You just lied to me." You know, and what I'm saying is, I don't believe a word you say from now on. Okay? You have destroyed that trust. Now, you mentioned to me, you know, I have a friend named Sam. And I responded instantly, "No, I don't have a friend named Sam." And the reason I don't have a friend named Sam is the guy who used to be my friend attacked you. Okay?
Well, that's okay. I need to be attacked periodically, kept honest.
Well, so that guy is no longer my friend. And you're going to find out, you know, over the next week, who else has become not my friend. And there are a whole bunch of them. And Rick, I've done something. I was talking to the owner of a radio station. And by the way, class, if you don't hear me anymore on your local radio station, that's because I sent out a notice to radio stations who want me to pay to be on the air. And it actually costs me money from our family funds to pay to be on the air on some radio stations. I've put them on notice that I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it anymore because I learned how weak some people are. People that I thought would stand behind me or with me aren't very strong. So I am not going to use our family funds anymore to pay to be on the air. Now, if those radio stations choose to carry me, they can have it for free. They can have all my work, all the instructors' work. None of us gets paid. They can have our work for free. But if they expect us to work for free and pay them at the same time, they're mistaken. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. And there's another component to this, and while I'm on this rant. You see, I used to be on a radio station in Springfield, Missouri. And the locals would hear me, and they'd hear my voice in a store, and they go, I know you, you're Finelli. And I'd turn around and I'd say, "Oh yeah, hi." And they thought that because I'm on this local radio station, that I'm buddies with everybody else who was on the radio station. That's not true. And I'm going to tell you why it's not true. You see, if you're on in the afternoon, let's say from 4 to 6, you go into the station a few minutes early, in my case, well over an hour early, and I would sit in the kitchen because that's the only room they'd let me sit in, and I would have my notebook out, and I'd be preparing my notes, and I'd have my spiral notebook, and I'd write my notes, and I'd do the final few minutes of preparation, actually the final hour of preparation for the broadcast. And then at the top of the hour, I would walk into the studio. Why at the top of the hour? Because the last guy who was in the studio leaves at the top of the hour. So that guy leaves, and I walk in, and I say, "Hey, how's it going?" And that's all the time I have to say hi to him, because we're going on the air like right now. So I sit down at their computer in the studio, and I do my broadcast. So how often do I see that other person? Well, you know, Monday through Friday for 10 seconds. I don't know these people. They don't know me. And after my show's over, the next guy comes in. So is it like we all hang around in the lobby and have fun? No. So I hardly know these people. Now, the point of all this is the listeners think that we're all buddies and we all get along and we're all on the same page. And it's not true because I hardly know them. So I don't want to be on the radio with people who I don't like. I don't want to be on the radio on the same radio station with people who take shots at us. So I'm not going to be. And I even called a radio station and said, "Look, you know, I don't want to be on the air with a guy named Sam. I don't want to be on the radio." And the owner of the radio station said, "Well, Sam loves you." And I said, "Well, I hate him." Now, those are really strong words. He loves me. Yeah, he loves me, and he attacks Rick Miller. That's some love, right? And
Vincent, I'm attackable. I've got lots of edges that need to be honed down. You know.
Well, there's no reason. And who said it best? Merle Haggard. What I hate. He came out with a song, What I Hate. And he was absolutely right in what I hate. And I agree with him. There's so many things that are just wrong. Politicians who speak out of both sides of their mouth. Politicians who lie, cheat, obfuscate, take bribes, sell us out. And if you look at the series Madam Secretary is like a cleaned up version of House of Cards. It's full of a whole bunch of ambassadors, CIA agents. They will sell each other out. They will lie to each other. And it's Washington, D.C. has those people who work there have a gun to everybody else's head. It's like a Mexican standoff.
Well, that goes back to L. Ron Hubbard and Battlefield Earth and the concept of leverage. And that's what it's all about, blackmail. And it's hard because we all probably have skeletons. I've been very blessed with some of the people I've met, like my girlfriend, Grace Thorne, some others that are clean people. But, good luck. Everybody's got something they're ashamed of. And every single one of us, our neuroses can all be traced back to some childhood trauma. And every single one of us has a neurotic part of us that can always be traced back to childhood trauma. And I'm writing about this on the nature of time travel. I'm getting the big picture. It's like I'm a physicist that is now becoming enlightened. And the two are mutually exclusive. Trust me when I tell you that. It's interesting where I'm going now in my understanding of the way what this physical plane, where we are at this moment in our time and history with an epoch coming down the line. Remember, a cavitation ball captures the medium in which it's in, like air. When that drop of water falls and hits the pool, it is no longer a drop of water. It is a capture of that medium. And if you will remember, there are 6 epochs. Isn't that interesting? With earth, air, fire, and water, and the rest of it. Isn't the metaphor interesting that this epoch is the tapesha, the trial by fire? And something else is going on here, and all of us are now getting exactly what I am saying. There's something that has hit everybody's chord just when I said that. And I know it because it hits my chord. And I am now enlightened or becoming so. It's interesting. I don't know what it all means yet, but nothing is as you think it is. Nothing.
Hey, Rick, I'm back.
What's that?
I'm back. Did you know I got knocked off again?
No.
Oh, I just went on a rant.
And then I came in on your rant trying to put an edge to it so that people had a sense, and I had no clue.
I got knocked off the high-speed digital, and now I'm on the telephone. I reconnected, but here's it's very interesting. When I lose my temper on the air, there seems to be a correlation between me losing my temper and me getting knocked off the air. Some things that I say seem to get me knocked off the air. But the point I was trying to make is that many years ago, 5 years ago, when I started this meetup group in Springfield, Missouri, I said, these are the best days. Today is as good as it's going to get. Tomorrow's going to be worse. The next day is going to be worse. The next day is going to be worse. And then I would say things to the meetup group. Let me see if I got this right. Have you all learned something, in the last 6 months? Have you learned more about being prepared and understanding discerning the truth. Have you learned more? Yeah. Okay, and how many of you are willing to help the people in this meetup group? If someone's in trouble, how many of you are willing to help? And every hand would go up. And okay, good. And then what I found out was that was a lie. It was an absolute lie. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it when we come back.
Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Well, class, I certainly want to apologize for the degradation in quality on this particular broadcast. I have been knocked off high-speed digital, and that connection is not operational at my end. So I think maybe we've gotten some help in disconnecting us from the internet. But we are on the plain old telephone service connection. So that's what you're hearing, and that's one of our backup methods. So we don't leave our broadcast without alternative methods of staying on the air. And I mentioned at the meetup over the years, I've said, how many of you are willing to help each other? Because the same people would come to meetup after meetup. And although we've had less than 1,000 people total pass through the meetup, there's been a core group who's been there most of the time. And I've asked them, are you willing to help each other? I mean, you see some of the same faces week after week after week, every Friday or every Monday. And are you willing to help each other? How many of you are willing to help each other? And all the hands go up. Great. So if someone needs help, you're going to be there, right? Right. Okay, good. That's great. That's the way it's supposed to be. And that's what I thought we were teaching here. Okay, so John Regan lived in Springfield, Missouri, and he was moving to Texas. And John would come to the meetups, and he would teach brilliant classes. And there's a reason why I'm telling the class this, Rick. So he would teach these brilliant classes, and one day he said he was moving and he could use a little bit of help packing. So I said, oh, great. Mrs. Finelli and I, we were both there. I said we'll be there. We'll be there. Just tell us when. And we'll drop everything to be there. And so it's over 100-mile round trip for us to go there. We went there, and 2 other people from the meetup went there. That was it. So of all these people who, I'm here to help. I'm your friend. I'm in. 2 others besides me and Mrs. Finelli, out of everybody. And so I'm here to tell you that if you think people are going to help you, if you think you've got a whole bunch of great friends, I'm here to tell you I don't think that's true. I'm sorry to tell you that I don't think that's true. And Rick, you mentioned that you've got to know somebody for 10 years. Now, I hope you're going to make an exception for me because you haven't known me for 10 years. But
well, we're getting close. We're getting close. And people are getting close, in terms of their relationships to others. That's why you always go back to family and your older friends that you grew up with. And that's where you start your foundation.
I remember being on the air with the freeze-dry guy, and I said, hey, freeze-dry guy, you stay at the farm? You've been here year after year after year, many, many times. You make it a destination. When are you going to tell me your real name? And he said, soon. As soon as we get to know each other a little bit better.
Yeah, really. No tongue. No, when you kiss me, no tongue.
So that was a story with, Captain John Regan, who is selfless, who's given of himself, who's spent his own time, his own money doing research, helping these meetup people, and only 2 of them are willing to help him. And it's unbelievable. It's disgraceful. It's disgusting. And I'm angry. Okay? I'm angry about that. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. And I'm here to say that you really need to realize. Well, let me say it this way. So I said to the meetup group 3 years ago. I said to the meetup group, and 2 years ago, I said, so here's the situation. So we're surrounded. It's just me and another one. Just 2 people, me and one of you. Just 2 of us. And I don't mean you, Rick. I mean at the meetup. And
sure.
So we're back to back. It's a terrible, terrible situation. It's going to be a shootout. It's going to be awful. And it's going to be awful like within a couple seconds. So we're back to back. I've got 180 degrees out to my front. The person behind me has 180 degrees out to my back.
That's what's meant by I've got your back.
Right. And I said, I'm 100% confident that most of you, if not all of you, who have my back are going to raise your hands and say, don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot, I give up, and I, Vince Finelli, am going to get shot in the back. And you know what? That's what happened. That's what happened. That's what happened with the meetup. The meetup group people shot me in the back, all except for 3. And you're going to hear about it next week. I'm furious. We'll be right back with Rick Miller.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937. Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. You know, the commercial announcements have given me a few, and top of the hour news have given me a few minutes to calm down. I was pretty furious, and I was thinking about this meetup group and how they've disappointed me. And over the next couple of weeks, you're going to hear more about it. You're going to be absolutely shocked at what I tell you. And Rick Miller's with us, and Rick, I want to share something else with you. So, I don't know, a couple months ago, I happened to make it to one of the meetups, and I said, so how many of you are willing to help each other? And the hands went up, and I said, great, because one of us here tonight is living in his van. He's living in his van. Literally does not have a place he calls home. Has no home. Living in his van. And I was talking with him, and he would love to have a nice place to park his van and still live in his van. But rather than find parking lot after parking lot after parking lot, it'd be nice if he could come to somebody's home and maybe if you have a farm, park his van there. And he's willing, he doesn't want it for free. He is willing to be a farmhand. He's willing to help. He's willing to pay his way through work for that parking spot. Let me know if any of you are interested, and this person is here tonight at the meetup. Let me know if any of you is willing to do that. He's in the Springfield area. That's where he'd like to be. Nobody. Nobody was willing to help him. He's been a speaker at the meetup. He's taught. He's volunteered his time to teach people. He's was an over-the-road trucker. And he shared his experiences. And the man is brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. And I might have misspoke when I said that I didn't have a friend named Sam. His name is Sam as well. So I was not referring to the trucker by the name of Sam. I was talking about a broadcaster by the name of Sam. And nobody was willing to let him pull his van. And it doesn't look like the real McCoy's or the Beverly Hillbillies van. He's a nice guy. He's neat, he's clean, well-spoken, lots of experience, lots of talents. Nobody was willing to help him. And that's what I'm saying by, if you think people are going to help you, and these are people who raised their hand and said, yeah, I'm in, I'm all in, I'm going to help. Yes, absolutely, you bet. Well, they let him down. And they let more than him down. They let John Regan down. They let another instructor down. And you'll hear more about it. Rick, I'm furious. Absolutely furious. By the way,
you need to realize that everybody has levels of commitment. And everybody's different. And their value systems are different than your own. And with that said, you are always going to be disappointed, not surprised, pleased. It works that way. And you have to realize, what I would do is, who initiated the initial concept of banning in your group? That's a good place to start. Who was the one who first suggested it to the group? I'd start there. And before I started casting aspersions, start with who started it and why.
Well, I don't know why. Well, actually, I have
start there.
A belief.
Ask those questions before you get critical. Ask those questions. I think you're going to find that we've all been infiltrated, that we are all influenced by mind control techniques, and that neurolinguistics is the beginning of understanding nonverbal communication, and that there's something else going on here, that these techniques are being used to the maximum in an attempt to keep everybody as a sheeple, and that once the covering has been uncovered, you can see what's what a little more clearly. And that part is called enlightenment. And that is, who started it? Who initiated in the group? And have the group go through that exercise. Whose idea was it first? Who came up with it first? Interestingly, you will find a situation occurs then. And now everything is going to become more clear in the light of day.
Well,
That's what we do in science.
I found out what part of it is, Rick. And it's the Christians. These people who call themselves Christians. And what they believe is there's only one way. Their way. And if you're not a member
that's insecurity. That's quite natural with everybody. To some limited extent, everybody's like that. They want everybody, I want everybody to believe like I do so that I feel secure in my beliefs. This is a natural occurring core issue with all of us. Just like I said, the initial trauma of something that occurred when you were in childhood has carried you all the way through to this moment in time. Rick, and that's why you're here.
Rick, I have a very dear friend in this village area, actually in Springfield. And he's Jewish. And when he comes over, like he'll bring his family over and, we'll have dinner together over a weekend or something, or we'll go to his place. And whenever he's over at our place, him, his wife, and we're in the dining room and we're having dinner, or if we're in the kitchen, having a less formal dinner or lunch, I'll say to him, would you say grace, please? And when he says grace, it is almost identical to what I would say. it's almost identical. He isn't saying, Heavenly Father, don't forget the lottery. He doesn't say that. He doesn't say, I need this and I need that and I need the other thing. When he says grace, it is of thanks. It's thanks for everything. All the opportunities.
Being grateful. Yeah, being grateful.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it. And
that's why they call it blessing.
And I think that's the way it should be, as compared to, people are asking me if I'm saved. Well, I don't know. How do you answer that? And if I haven't been saved, I'm like a second-class person if I'm not saved. Actually, I'm not even second class. I might even be last place. Well, that's how they've been raised. I've been raised differently. I've been raised by the Roman Catholics. But I'm not sure they were right either. So here's what I've learned. Rick, I've learned that, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you're a spiritual person. Norm Shealy is a spiritual person. My Jewish friend is a spiritual person. I'm a spiritual person, but I don't believe that you have to sit in a certain pew on 3 days a week to remind you of what you're supposed to believe. I don't think that that's necessary. And I don't think you have to tithe.
That's what America was supposed to be, freedom of religion, where we didn't discriminate. That is the primary tenet of Jesus Christ and his Essene philosophy. And so I taught comparative religion at Harvard for 11 years. And I will be darned if I will, never mind. It is why they called this Pope the last one.
I guess the takeaway from this is I am willing to and want to learn about everything, but there's some people who are closed-minded and they don't want to learn.
They're afraid. They are afraid. And they think the inner voice that wants them to step outside the box is Satan. And the bottom line is the voice of coyote and the voice of reason turn out to be the same voice, because guess what? Change is the rule in this universe. Everything changes. Get over it. And if you don't like what's happening, why is that? And I'll bet you in every single case, it goes back to some unresolved childhood trauma. In every single case.
Well, I believe it.
That's called enlightenment. And it's time we all step up and begin to acknowledge the problems that we, each of us, are incurring on others and ourselves. This is an opportunity. This is not a bad thing that's happening. Change is the rule, and it's time that your attitude is such that you see it as such, an opportunity to make the changes in yourself that are long, long overdue. And all of you.
The thing that bothers me the most about the meetup group, Rick, is that I falsely believed that this was a group of people who were independent thinkers.
They are still. But you see, we have a group of, I don't know, aliens, 1%ers, whatever you want to call them, that are trying to keep the masses blind. How many people believe that Sandy Hook actually happened? FEMA has already come out and said it didn't happen. Now, how many people still believe that it happened?
Well, I don't think very many.
Well, you'd be surprised, Vincent.
No, I'm talking about in this class today, in this broadcast. I don't think very many. We'll be right back. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada. Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pileski of the Pileski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Class, I was looking at the website rkpreppershows.com, and it says that I'm scheduled to be there Saturday and Sunday. That's this Saturday and Sunday, July 16 and 17. And it says that the seminar that I will be giving is called Start Your Own Business, Save an Enormous Amount of Money. That's part 1 is on Saturday and part 2 is on Sunday. So start your own business and save an enormous amount of money, parts 1 and 2. So it looks like I'm on stage for an hour and a half each day. And if you'd like to have dinner with us, we'll see if we can make that happen. And I have a table, and I've given my table to Dr. Joel Wallach's team. So they'll be there as well. So Dr. Joel Wallach's team will be at the same table that I am. And Craig Douglas, I believe, is going to be there. Yes, he's going to be there. He's speaking. Matt Stein's going to be there. Rick, we're going to miss you there. I always love seeing you and being with you. we'll have to do it a different time. But so that's this weekend. And Rick, I was looking at some of the things that I was hoping we'd get a chance to talk about today. And one of them is a physics question. And here's, for example, people say that they'll have a little tiny car, a little puddle jumper, and they'll say, oh, it's really a safe car. It's, according to all the tests, this thing is safe. Now I'm thinking that in boxing matches, there are classes based on weight. In wrestling matches, there are weight classes, and that's for a reason. And then you look at a little tiny car, and if there's an accident on the road, that a little tiny car is involved with a crash with a big car, or a small light truck. Who wins, Rick? Does the little safe car win, or does the big vehicle win?
Well, momentum, but that's in a different universe. I'll explain that in another time. It's a metaphor.
Okay.
There were Goliaths and there were Davids. And Davids can overcome Goliaths. And it is a metaphor in terms of the strong and the weak and what actually constitutes weakness and strength. And mass, also, I remember a metaphor that said, the bigger they are, the harder.
Well, Rick, I try to drive a pickup truck or a heavy vehicle because it seems to me that the little vehicles take a pounding as when they crash with a big vehicle, like a tractor trailer.
Yes, they
do. You take one of those little puddle jumpers and you try ramming it with a tractor trailer, and you look and say, I think this is where it hit the tractor trailer. I'm not sure. It looks like the dust is kind of worn off that bumper there, but what happened to that little car? Mark in Missouri, you're on with Doc Ram. Welcome.
Yeah, hi. This is Mark. Hey, Dr. Miller, I always wanted to know if you're familiar with the Pyramid of Giza on the dollar bill.
What on the dollar bill exactly?
It's called the Great Pyramid. It's called the Pyramid of Giza. It represents Jesus, the Messiah. It's there's five cornerstones, and the fifth apex is the capstone, which is Jesus, Messiah.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. Why do you ask? Where is your point on this? Where are you trying to go?
Well, because the Bible also says in the New Testament that the frequency of the earth and the sun and everything is changing for the redemption of the sons of Elohim. And I just want to know if you knew that all the in the ancient Hebrew, the past, present, and future tense of all truth, all scripture is in the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Well, okay, so I just recently seen an article to indicate that pyramids all over the earth, including North and South Dakota, are time travel capsules from Mars. How's that work? Let's go backward. The all-seeing eye is the primary logo used with Navy intelligence. It's the all-seeing eye. Now that is way older than anything Jesus Christ had anything to do with. Now, what does it mean to be the all-seeing eye, the eye of Agamotto in Doctor Strange? I happen to wear that. That happens to be the logo of the Rudolf Steiner and that lodge out of Switzerland.
Attention backpackers on a budget. Why spend $80 to $300 to pump clean survival water? Introducing the Viba Water Pump Kit from Viba Outdoor Products. Super easy to use and super lightweight at only 6.5 ounces, the Viba Water Pump Kit provides high flow rate at 1 ounce per stroke, can be one-hand pumped, and is dependable and affordable at only $24.99. Filter not included. Get your Viba Water Pump Kit at VIBA-ODP.com from Viba Outdoor Products.
The investment world isn't fair. A precious metals trader buys gold and silver at spot price. You pay his price plus fees, costs, and shipping. But today, you don't. Today, JM Bullion offers a 10-ounce bar of pure silver at spot price. No fees, no markups, no shipping. Invest in something real, not Wall Street paper. 10 ounces of silver at spot price. Visit realpricesilver.com for this limited time offer. One per household, 50 United States only. realpricesilver.com. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Injury Help Desk is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention prescription antibiotic drug users. Have you or a loved one suffered an aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm after taking the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox? These popular antibiotic drugs have been prescribed more than 80 million times since 2004, and medical studies show an increased risk of the following injuries: aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, and abdominal aortic aneurysm. If you or a loved one used the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox and suffered from aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-823-3851, 800-823-3851, 800-823-3851.
Have you ever thought you'd like to flip houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? Are you ready to be your own boss so you can start living the good life? Hi, I'm Preston Ely. I used to be so broke. I had my electricity turned off 9 times, but I figured out a way to quit my job and find financial freedom in real estate. For a limited time, I want to send you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It shows you how to copy exactly what I did so you can make money from the comfort of your own home without even doing any manual labor. I've already given away 5,000 books and they're going fast. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-958-9859. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. It's short, fun to read, easy to understand, and awesome. To find out how to get your free book while supplies last, call 1-800-958-9859. Call 1-800-958-9859. 1-800-958-9859.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with his class, and if you'd like to go to his website, docram.com, D-O-C-R-A-M, Doc, Richard Allen Miller, docram.com. That'll take you to his website, and if you'd like, you can peruse the website, and if you'd like, you can buy the same books that we have right here in the studio. Rick, we talked hour number 1 about the sun. The corona's not firing right. And based on my estimation, I mean, just looking at the surface, doing a quick sketch in my mind, it looks like over 10% of the sun's surface is not firing properly. How serious is that, and what does it mean?
We've actually changed our orbit. The orbit of Earth has been modified in the last few months because of an unknown body that has entered our solar system that even Stanford has researched and gone public with. The orbit have changed, and that's why we're now subtly seeing weather changes globally. And with that, earthquakes, volcanoes, and the rest of it, we will experience a day after tomorrow. That is imminent. I don't know how quickly it's going to happen, but there is a need for a reboot in our ocean currents. And that's about to happen. And when that happens, that will be the beginning of the end of things as we understand and know them. This has happened before. It is happening again right now. It is a metaphor in our relationship to time. And I am writing about that exact phenomena right now with a second to the last chapter in the Non-Local Mind book. By the way, everyone should know the reason I'm broke right now is I have just published and ready for upload 9 volumes on the Encyclopedia of Alternative Agriculture in a number of different ebook forms, 3 different ebook forms. I'm going to have it available. Cheap, inexpensive on farming. This is different than the farming I was talking about 20 years ago. Everything's changed, and as such, there is a need for a new direction in why we do what we do. So, yes, the sun has an anomaly. That is the only thing that will actually affect the Earth as profoundly as it is being affected right now is the sun. And the only thing that will affect the sun is another sun. And everything can be seen as binary. That is a new concept in astronomy, and why we have a black hole at the center of each of our galaxies, leading to somewhere else. The time thing I'm going to be writing about next month is the reflected universe. At the moment of death, what actually happens, and that is also part of my holistic Kabbalah and the missing sephira in the middle of the abyss called Dath, D-A-A-T-H. It is a temporary place of wisdom through knowledge. Knowledge is not real, but at any given moment, for a brief moment, knowledge can become wisdom that is from the old Bibles. And that is part of the all-seeing eye. It has nothing to do with Illuminati that used that as a logo back in the 14th and 15th centuries when the Catholic Church turned against the scientists. And that's your Bible today, a political sham of what the Bible originally was written as by men that were inspired by God. These people in Rome are not inspired by God. They are inspired by something else. And you better get a grip in understanding the personal choices each of us are going to be confronted with shortly. And I've given you... Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't. You want me to rant? There it is. That's my rant.
Well, you're talking about Rome, and I'm thinking of the Vatican, of course, and there's a war around the Vatican.
Is the least of it.
Okay.
How about Martin Luther? I was trained as Missouri Synod Catechism to armor me against what happened to me at age 16 going to churches with some of my friends. And it was terrible. And yes, I went through trauma, and it's why I am where I am right now, and why I decided to go out and find out exactly what Jesus Christ was and what he was not. And here we are at the end of days, realizing when Christ said, what I have done, you can do even more. Now, I haven't, and I'm trying to. That's my aspiration. But I will darned if I will make judgment on another. I only make judgment on myself. And that's where your trauma first occurs. And so, it's all in metaphor. And you have choices. That's what made you God's favorite. But believe me when I tell you this, you are probably most likely a byproduct. This story and this song is not about you. That's Carly Simon. Go ahead and think about that for a moment. I know of 4 mammals on this planet that are more evolved technically than man. We're around as a byproduct, and I'm like David Copperfield holding my little bowl of cereal wanting more. I want something more out of my life. That is what made you God's favorite, is that you have choice and you can or not exercise that right.
So what is our fascination? I'm not talking about your fascination nor my fascination, but the science, the scientists, those who are in favor of artificial intelligence.
It's the leading religion of the world today. It's not real, but people think that technology is going to give them a better life and a better way of being and solve all the problems of the earth. The problems of the earth start internally. They're not outside, they're inside. And your word is not the word, it's your response to the word. That's where truth lies. And what you have to do is learn how to listen to yourself. That's why all saints in history have stressed the importance of going internal and the importance of meditation, training the mind. Now, I have been doing this for a long, long time, and I have just recently made a wondrous discovery. 45 years ago, I trained myself in controlling autonomic functions using biofeedback. 45 years ago. Today, I'm doing the same thing with neurotransmitter releases in my brain, trying to control the subtle of energies in my body to change the movie. And it's possible. I'm doing it, literally. And everybody listening to me is getting the fact that I've got it, and the very fact that I've got it means that you've got it from an archetypal point of view. It belongs to man. And each of us has only one responsibility: cleaning up our own ship, not someone else's, and trying to make us all the same. That's Common Core. You can look at Common Core as a metaphor. It is our diversity where the richness in being human lies. So, here we are at the end of days with choices ahead of us. And some of us are going to move on, and some of us are not. And that part is called cavitation. And if you don't understand that, that's a good place to start, wondering what I meant by saying something like that. You have a choice. You either can move on, or you can stay where you are and repeat it. We're not talking about reincarnation, not talking about timelines. We're not talking about any of that. It is all metaphor. And if you don't like what I'm saying, gosh, I'm really sorry. Because my intent, truthfully, is to do the right thing. And if you don't see me as doing the right thing, well, that part, believe it or not, is not your judgment, it's God's will. Now, how's that for preaching?
Outstanding, as usual. Rick, what's our fascination with AI, artificial intelligence? What's the fascination? I mean, here's the thing about machines. They have gotten so intelligent that they now know what you're going to do before you even know it consciously. That's because consciousness is not the full realm of what's going on. And a machine has achieved the full consciousness of that level. However, what made you God's favored is that you have a hierarchy of levels of information to include EQ. A machine does not feel pleasure when it beats you in chess.
That's why you are superior in that sense of it to a machine. And the difference between intent and purpose is, for all practical purposes, the same at our level of consciousness. But as you move to the next level, as I am now beginning to enjoy, I see the difference, and I am blessed. I am very blessed.
Let's extend this out a little bit. So we've got these machines doing everything for us. We've got 3D printers.
Jade 2.0 software in the Jade Helm experiment. They're currently now 17 exercising in Texas right this moment with 4 different UN troops. That's right. Here we are at the end of days.
Well, it sure feels like it. So we've got these AI machines that are doing everything for us, right? We've got them 3D printers that can print food.
They're somehow not turning off nuclear energy for a 7th epoch.
Let me continue with this. So we've got these artificial intelligence machines making decisions, building cars, driving vehicles, cars and trucks, and replacing fast food workers. So when we're all replaced, what are we going to be, Rick? Just consumers? Is that it? We're all going to enjoy being consumers?
Laptops. We're all going to be laptops connected to the Borg.
Yeah. We'll be right back. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
The best kept secret in the firearms business is CDNNsports.com. CDNN Sports is the largest firearms liquidator in the U.S. We've got optics, accessories, gun parts, magazines, ammunition, and more. Sign up for our email specials today for the best gun deals, period. You will also be entered to win a Winchester 101 field shotgun. Go to Charlie, Delta, Novembersports.com. That's CDNNsports.com.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
I'm Jesse Gonzalez, Vice President at Kmart. Did you know that premature birth is the #1 killer of babies in the United States, or that survivors can face a lifetime of serious health problems? But you can help. Join me in Kmart for the March for Babies Walk. We'll work together to raise funds for research and programs that help the marginalized fight premature birth and birth defects and improve the health of moms and babies. Start your team today at marchforbabies.org.
Rick Miller's with us, docram.com, docram.com. Rick, cell phone disease. And the reason I'm mentioning cell phones and disease is because I have seen nurses carry cell phones. And evidently they're not supposed to carry them, but they've got them in their pockets. They violate the policy. They carry their cell phones. They talk with their children. They text and so forth. And doctors carry them as well. And in the hospital, they go from room to room to room to room to room. And some people have communicable diseases. And so now we have these cell phones going from patient to patient. And or patient to patient's rooms. And I'm concerned about the transmission of diseases via cell phones. Do you think I'm nuts, or do you think that's reasonable?
Well, we already know that cell phones are the thing that are disrupting the bees with the digital microwave band. And it's not GMOs. It is the microwave band of cell phones that are disrupting our bees and our crops and the relationship of flowers and pollination. Now, technology has many faces, and it's not real. What's real is your mind's eye, your belief system. And to evolve, one has to realize that beliefs are tools, not God-given drivers. And that is what the problem is with most religions today. Their belief systems are arbitrary from a science point of view, and should be used as tools to open and close certain doors. And that's why people want to be a Christian as opposed to a Buddhist. Now, a Buddhist can be a Christian, but a Christian cannot be a Buddhist. Why? Because of worldviews, opening and closing certain doors. There is an example of why you choose to use your beliefs as drivers and tools, not God-given reality.
Rick, you're talking about cell phones and bees. New York City is going to deploy something called Link, L-I-N-K, NYC, Link, New York City. These bureau rats and politicians and the mayor are interested in deploying these cell are these Wi-Fi hotspots. 7,500 at a minimum, 10,000 at a maximum hotspots that are 150 degrees in diameter. So 150 feet in diameter. They are looking at putting these hotspots everywhere you go, which means that if you are in one of these spots and your phone is attached to it and you call the police, they'll know within 150 feet where you are. Additionally, I can't imagine bees flying in these 150-foot areas, of which there'll be as many as 10,000 in New York City. This is absolutely nuts. This is in addition to everything they already have. This is Big Brother, I won't say to the max, because I'm sure there's new deployments, new innovations, and new technologies, but this is serious, Rick.
Well, this is a typical AI situation where a machine now is being used in New York City to predict an event 28 minutes before it occurs within 120 feet. That is how it works.
Yeah, and I can just see it as we're being put in handcuffs. No, I wasn't thinking about that. No, you can't arrest me. It wasn't me. I wasn't thinking that. Can you imagine? Can you imagine where we're headed? And class, there are people dumb enough to allow this to happen. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I was ridiculed in Virginia because I said anybody who would want a private prison in our little village is a moron. And I used the word moron. Oh man, did they come after me for that. They said, you're calling everybody a moron. And I'm, no, not really everybody, just those who want to have a private prison in our town. Man, we've lost our minds. Rick Miller, thank you so much for being with us, class. Above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
There is an affordable alternative to the high cost of healthcare that offers freedom from insurance while providing compliance with the Obamacare individual mandate. Imagine having access to quality, affordable healthcare that allows you the freedom to choose your doctor and hospital. Members can share up to 100% of necessary medical expenses, including some alternative treatments. Find out how you and your family can contain healthcare costs without giving up your freedom. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.